Hello, I'm Julie Williamson, and here is a demo of the new Word workflow for ACM authors. So what I've done here is I've actually just copied in an old Kai paper of mine just to show how the new template and workflow work. So this is a 10-page Kai paper, and I've gone through and put all the correct styles on this document. That took me about 20 minutes, 30 minutes to convert this from the old template. So you can see a 10-page Kai paper comes to roughly 10 pages with the references excluded. And I've made a few kind of small changes here. So for example, the paragraphs are no longer the normal style, they are the paragraph style here, so para. The headings as well need to have heading styles attached to them, and things like the references need to have a specific reference head style and bib entry style. So this is great. I submit this to peer review, and wonderful day, I get my Kai paper accepted. So the next step that I need to do to prepare this for publication is this next stage in the workflow. So what I need to do to start is actually attach the template macro for camera ready, basically. So let's take a look at this. I would go to templates and add-ins, and I would go through in here and figure out where I installed this, which I think is still just sitting in my downloads folder. Yep, so here's the template that needs to be attached, and I will go ahead and attach that and enable the macros that are needed for this. So let's take a look here and enable the macro. Brilliant. So I have a few new options that appear up here. Some of these are quite helpful even for the submission version because we can see very easily which are the correct heading and body elements that we need to apply to make this work correctly. But the first step we need to do is do the reference and cross-linking. So what I want to do here is get my bibliography all linked up. So I'll select that. Word's not the fastest, but it seems to be okay. So yeah, this is the end of where my references finish. And I'm going to say that's correct. And here it will then go through and actually link up all of my references. I need to choose the correct type, and for SIG-Kai, that's the numbered reference. So I'll click OK here, and this is where the processing happens. So it will be going through and checking from my plain text references or word linked references, if you've used Mendeley, for example, and actually putting in all the correct metadata for that to be included in the document. So this takes, I don't know, a short duration, but it looks like it's just finishing up. Brilliant. So this process has been completed successfully. Great. And what we'll see here now is all of these links put in here. So now all of the correct metadata is here for these to link to my references, for example, if I want to click down to 14. And all of the metadata is here for the responsive HTML and for a correctly linked PDF as well. So all of that is in there. That looks great. Sorry for my email popping up there. So once that's all done, then we need to just do a quick validation step and see how this looks and if it's ready to go actually to the production platform. So this would be to your proceedings chair or to Sheridan, for example. So let's take a look. I know there's a few warnings with this document, but actually it should validate correctly. Let's take a look and see how this validation goes. Yeah, so all figures must have captions. I haven't actually associated my captions correctly to some of these images. Yep, we see that again. Citation to figure 6, not in order, so it gives me some style recommendations as well. Again, figure 5, referenced out of order. File contains text boxes. Yeah, so I haven't formatted my table quite right, but this is just a warning. It's not going to prevent me from submitting this. And I know I've actually not referenced all of my figures or all my references for that matter. So you'll see there's a couple issues, but we've got validation process has been completed successfully. So there's a few warnings there, and that would be things as well for things like alt text being missing or other accessibility features. And these are style warnings, but they will not prevent an author from submitting their manuscript. So once this validation is successful, that looks good to me, and this is ready to go into the production platform. Once the document is ready to go to the production platform, that is where authors will be able to view their 2-column PDF, their responsive HTML EPUB style, and any other type of reading formats that the conference has chosen to support. Thank you.